showers are coming in and out of them, that's when you'll see the rainbows. Out the back side of the Wili Wili Harbor, you're going to see a stream. You'll see a big pond just to the right side of the stream. That's the Minehune fish pond. That was built by the Hawaiians around 600 years ago. The purpose of the fish pond was a fish farm, so just a way for them to feed people a little more consistently, streamline a food source. It's not used to feed anyone these days. However, they still maintain it and do restoration projects on it as needed. So it's not super windy today, but it is a little bit windy. So when we get close to ridge lines and valleys, you might feel the helicopter kind of bump a little bit. That's just wind. It's nothing to worry about. You'll typically feel it, when we get up to a ridge line like this, when we cross over a valley. The first part of the flight is all ridges and valleys, so you might be feeling it. Nothing to worry about though. I just want you guys to know what you're feeling when you feel it. On the back side of this ridge line, you're going to see 3 separate beaches. They're all called kipukai. So every beach in Hawaii is public property. Nobody can own sand. However, the Waterhouse family owns all of the dirt behind the sand, which includes the road into Kipukai. They put a gate down on that road, so there's no road access to that beach. The only way you can get there is actually by water. So people will kayak sometimes. You might see a boat anchored offshore there. That's the only way to get there. That is the only place on the island that I know of. Most beaches are going to have a road access or hiking access, some way to get down to the beach. Off to our right, this big pasture land. You'll probably see some cows down in there. That is all Black Angus cows, and cattle is the #1 export here on the island. About 80% of our cows get shipped to the mainland. 20% do stay here on the island. You'll see Kauai beef on restaurant menus. We don't use grain down here on Kauai, so it's all very lean, grass-fed beef, a little different than the mainland. Off of our left, the furthest peninsula you can see out there with all the buildings on it, that's Poipu. Poipu and Princeville are the 2 large resort towns here on the island. Poipu's south shore, Princeville's north shore, they're very similar. Big resorts, big golf courses. The main difference between the 2 is the weather in the winter time. Typically, you're going to have less rainfall in Poipu compared to Princeville. It's kind of cool early in the morning when we get rain showers like this. It brings up the humidity in the air, and it actually kind of creates clouds or little fog layers coming off the mountains, which is kind of pretty cool. It's typically only an early morning thing. When it's a little bit cooler is when you'll see that. So here in Kauai, there's only 70,000 full-time residents. It's a pretty small population. That being said, the south side here is considered densely populated for the island. So you have Poipu all the way down to Port Allen, and this is a good chunk of the people living on the island are on the south side, and then a lot on the east side as well. Here on the island, it's really only shoreline towns. There's no towns that are very far off the ocean. Down below us is Poipu, Tree Tunnel Road, which takes you into Poipu. You might see some cars driving through the tree tunnel. At the side of the tree tunnel, you have this eucalyptus tree farm. They harvest the trees, they take them to these 2 tan buildings on our right with the smoke coming out of it. That's actually a biomass power plant. What they're doing is they're lighting the trees on fire, and then they take the heat from that fire, and it produces about 10% of the island's energy. It's a sustainable energy source. They'll just harvest and then replant the trees on a cycle forever. A big solar farm on our left. You'll see solar most big farms on the south and the east side, but you'll see panels on people's homes and businesses all over the island. It's a big energy source here on the island. It is renewable, so it's It's better than the diesel that we have to barge in from the mainland, which is pretty expensive. Big push for solar energy here on the island. Those billboards. So what they are is they're old, like reflection for radio signals. So they would bounce it. Off of our left here, you see the town going up the hill. Backside of the hill is a big open field. There's a farm down there. That's all coffee. So that's Kauai Coffee Company. 3,400 acres of coffee plants down there. If you guys are coffee drinkers, try a macadamia nut coffee blend. It's pretty good. If you can get it iced or cold, I think it tastes a little bit better. You can taste the macadamia a little bit better when it's cold than hot. So we're making our way into Hanapepe Valley. This valley and the next two valleys up are all privately owned by one family. The Robinson family moved here in 1864. When they moved, they were the Sinclairs, and then through marriage turned into the Robinsons. But originally an agricultural family. You can see all their farmland down ahead of us to the left a little bit. But they also own all this wild mountain lands to our right. They have 55,000 acres, all purchased from the Kingdom of Hawaii back in the 1860s. But private land means no access on the ground. So there's no way back in this valley. There's no roads or hiking trails through any of this. Lots of rain overnight and this morning, so we're going to have a lot of waterfalls here on the island. The big waterfall, the most prominent one you can see, is called Manavaiapuna, what everyone calls it, Jurassic Falls, made famous in the first Jurassic Park movie when they land the helicopter out in front of it. Now I'm going to do an S-turn out in front of it, that way everyone gets a view off of their window. So if it's not immediately off your window, just give me 45 seconds to a minute, and I'll do a turn to make sure you get a good view of whatever we're looking at. But this is pretty insane. These waterfalls are huge, and they are definitely not always this big, and there's definitely not always this many. So, rained a lot overnight, which means waterfalls. So the big pond you can see at the base of the falls there, that's where the helipad was during the filming of Jurassic Park, but they had it removed after the filming was over. Back behind Jurassic Falls, two waterfalls ahead of us called Heli Falls. There's actually 5 total, and we'll check them out. We'll see 4 of them pretty easily. The 5th one kind of hides. It's up in a cove in a weird spot. I'll do some turns out in front of Heli so everyone gets a good view. You'll see a lot of dead trees back behind Heli Falls. That's all hurricane damage. So in 1992, the island was hit by Hurricane Iniki. 150-mile-an-hour winds hit the island, and it snapped a lot of these trees in half, and they just never. Pretty awesome today. This is a lot of water. Yeah, this is a lot. It rained a lot overnight, so pretty cool viewing for us this morning. We're going to make our way westbound towards Waimea. This is where the rain is this morning on the island. So I expect us to fly through some showers, but I know where some cool waterfalls are, so we're going to go check those out next. The old Robinson estate, it's not used anymore, but that was kind of one of the original houses they had.
Okay, this one's for Gabby.
As we come over this final little grassy patch here, you're going to see a large valley, and then up and to the right is Olokele Valley. I'll do an S turn out in front of Olokele. Very cool valley, you can't see it from the road at all. So this is all Olokele Valley straight ahead of us. Big waterfalls here, beautiful spot. A lot of these waterfalls you're seeing all around us, these smaller ones, these are not here typically. So this is all because of the rain overnight. The island of Kauai is the oldest Hawaiian island. It's 5 million years old. It went extinct about 3.5, 4 million years ago, so it's been shrinking ever since through erosion. My Big Island friends, the island of Hawaii is 600,000 years old. This one's 5 million. So this would be like the great-great-great-grandfather.
Trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where.
So we're gonna make our way into Waimea Canyon next. It's gonna be some pretty low clouds and some rain, so we'll just work into it and then make our way out of it. But I heard some guys talking ahead of us about this one waterfall, so we're gonna check it out. It's pretty cool. We're leaving the Robinsons' property right now. This dirt road, you may or may not see it, this is the boundary, and then everything ahead of us is state of Hawaii owned state park. It is Waimea Canyon State Park straight ahead of us. Up in the clouds, we can't see it right now, is Kauai. So on a clear day you can see all the way to Kauai. It's just a big forest up above the canyon.
Skies of blue.
We're going to make our way into this valley called Wailai. Apparently there's a lot of water back in Wailai, so we'll check it out. It definitely is. All these waterfalls here that you can already see running, those are pretty huge. I'll do an S turn out in front of it for everybody.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky.
That's the biggest I've ever seen, that waterfall.
Passing by, I see friends shaking hands singing, how do you do? They really sing, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them go. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow.
We're going to do a quick turn into Waimea Canyon. but that's a lot of rain in the back of it. So we'll go all the way into the back. We'll just see how far we can check out. But there's going to be these small waterfalls all over the place, so definitely keep your eyes peeled. This is a pretty amazing day for waterfalls. A lot of hiking and scenic overlooks up in Waimea Canyon. Not today, but on a clear day, you can go up on this little rim to our left and check out some of the overlooks. I'm getting some reports ahead of us of some pretty heavy rainfall on the west end. We'll try our best to get around it. The weather on this island moves really fast, so just because it's raining heavy now doesn't mean when we get there it will be. So we will check it out, make our way there. I'm definitely a fair weather flyer, so if it gets too ugly, we'll be turning around for the sun.
It's amazing.
I know, isn't that? I've never seen that much water coming out of that waterfall. That was pretty cool. All those side ones too that were just filling down the valley, that was pretty amazing. This is the end of Waimea Canyon. So the whole canyon itself from the very back down to the ocean is 14 miles long. The whole canyon is about 1 mile wide and 3,600 feet deep. Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. Definitely not as big, but if you think about where we are in the U.S. or in the world, we're like a tiny little island in the middle of the ocean. It is pretty cool that something like this even exists.
Dream on, dream of your fantasy, a place just for you and me, my spread your wings and fly away. Fly to that distant star from my waterfall.
We got a lot of weather. Everyone ahead of us is turning around, so we are gonna have to turn our way around back towards Lahui. Oh, we're gonna have to go back to Lahui because of the weather today. We were big front coming in. Once we get back to Lahui, we'll get you to the base and you guys will get with ground stuff and we'll work everything out. But glad we got to see these waterfalls. They were amazing. But bad weather is bad weather. I like the sunshine. Big clouds and rain scare me.
A simple life for me. Heli to Kauai.
So off our right side, we're passing Waimea town. So if you guys are interested when the weather clears up to come up to Waimea Canyon, that is where the road goes out of. So you'll drive to the southwest side of Waimea town, and then you'll head back up on Highway 550, and it takes you all the way into the back up into Kauai. If you guys like hiking, it's an awesome place to hike. If you don't like hiking, it's okay. There's parking lots with scenic overlooks where you guys can get some amazing views on both the Waimea and the Nepali coast side.
I left my home looking for a brand new start to find a place that's better still. Now I know I never will. Heli on to Kauai, used to play. The canyons of Waimea.
Here's a little Kauai again on the left.
Magic of the garden now.
All this agricultural land to our right, this is all Robinson owned. Originally it was purchased as their cattle farm, then they went into sugar production back when sugar mills were big here in the islands. Nowadays though, there's no sugar, it's all leased out to other farmers.
Canyons of Waimea, standing all alone. The magic of the garden now is calling me back home. It's calling me back home. Just for a day, our king and queen would visit all these islands and saw everything. How would they feel about the changes of? Could you just?
Here's Hanapepe again. This is so crazy, all these waterfalls that you can see all over the place. Typically on a typical day, where it's not super windy, you only have a couple of those in there, so to have as many as we did, very cool.
Tears would come from each other's eyes as they would start to realize that our people are in great, great danger now. Would they feel? Would their smiles be content? Cry for the gods, cry for the people, cry for the land that was taken away, and then you'll find Hawaii. Could you just imagine if they came back and saw traffic lights and railroad tracks? How would they feel about this water city life? Tears would come from each other's eyes and they would start to realize that our land is in great, great danger now. All the fighting that the king had done to conquer all these islands, now there's condominiums. How would he feel if he saw Hawaii? How would he feel?
So there's a very cool piece here on the middle of the island that we're going to go check out. It's only a couple minutes away, so we'll go there and then we're going to head back to Lahui. But this side of the island looks pretty good, so we'll definitely try for this section here.
Cry for the land that was taken away, and then yet you'll find Hawaii.
All these waterfalls you can see all around us are definitely not super common on a daily occurrence. And hopefully, where we're headed is going to have some pretty big waterfalls too. The center of the island is a mountain called Waialeale. It's the wettest place on the island. All of our rain kind of collects right on top. But the mountain of Waialeale is actually the second wettest place in the world. It's about 450 inches of rainfall on average per year. On a day like this where it's raining as hard as it is, I imagine it rained pretty hard overnight. So there's some pretty amazing waterfalls in there that I really want to go check out before we head back to Lahui.
How's that?
So once we wrap around this corner is the crater. This is the very outside of the crater. We call it Waiahi.
Take a look into the sky, cause the world is not so pretty. Free myself from worries so I can see it's just a beautiful day. It's just a beautiful day. You could be sad, but I'd rather you not be. No negative, just a positivity, and it's a beautiful day.
So this, as we come around this corner, is the crater of Waialeale. A lot of waterfalls in here, really high clouds today, which is cool too, but this is definitely a lot of water for here. So we're going to go in, do a circle, and then head out. Back when the island was active, this would have been where all the lava was held. Nowadays, because the island is extinct, there's no lava. 3,000 foot walls of waterfalls, moss, and ferns. Pretty amazing day in here. Weeping wall called the Blue Hole on our left. This is the east side of the island out ahead of us. We have Kapa'a town, Wailua, and then Lahui. When the volcano went extinct, all the lava drained out eastbound and it built a big chunk of the island over here. So you can kind of see it's all the same-ish elevation, and that's because it was all from one event. Other than the ridge lines, of course, So that extinction event actually built a pretty nice chunk here on the island. And this is where most people here live in. This is all agricultural down ahead of us, so a lot of cattle. There's some crop as we get further up towards Lahui.
Take a look into the sky, cause the world is not so pretty. Free myself from worries so I can see it's just a beautiful day. It's just a beautiful day. You could be sad, but I'd rather you not be. Don't dwell on the negative, just the positivity. And it's a beautiful day. It's just a beautiful day. We're always trying to satisfy these wants and needs. Take you some time for that inner peace. When your eyes are open, you see things differently. There's so much gloom hiding the reality. It's just a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a beautiful day.
So about 70% of the island here on the Kauai is inaccessible on the ground. A lot of jungle here. If you look at the island road, it's just the shoreline. That's pretty much where everything is on the shorelines. Best way to see the whole island, if we had better weather, is helicopter. But I'm glad I got to show you guys what we got to see. You guys, those waterfalls, that is not like that typically. That was a lot of rain, so what we did get to see was pretty amazing. I'm glad you guys got to come out, and I have a hunch that might have been the last flight for the day. That was a lot of rain. I'm glad I got to get you guys out there when we got to see pretty amazing waterfalls.
I could be sad, but you rather me not be.
Except largely for the rest.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful day. And it's a beautiful day. We're always trying to satisfy these wants and needs.
East side of the island, Wailua Bay and Kapa'a further down.
Take you some time for that inner peace. When our eyes are open, we see things differently. There's so much gloom hiding the reality. It's just a beautiful day. Yeah, a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Yeah, take a look into the sky. Take a look into the sky. Keep your head up high. Take a look into the sky. It's just a beautiful day. It's just a beautiful day. It's just a beautiful day.